Imagine this, a Filipino crop that used to be something we simply ate at home is now becoming a global food trend. Ubi ice cream, ubi lattes, ubi cakes, and of course my favorite, ubi cookies. From the Philippines to the north of the United States, Europe, and other parts of the world, the demand for this purple yum is growing rapidly. But here's the surprising part. While the world is falling in love with our ube, Philippine production is actually going down. So here's the question. How can the Philippines have a booming ube industry while struggling to produce enough ube? I am Nix, and this is Nix Now. And if you're curious about the Philippines beyond beaches and tourist destination, make sure to subscribe because these channels explore the country's politics, economy, society, and the issues shaping its future. Now, let's begin. Now, today, we're going to talk about one of the most Filipino ingredients that has recently taken the world by storm. And it is ube. And isn't just a story about the food trend. It is also the story about the Filipino farmers, climate change, agricultural production, and whether the Philippines can actually benefit from the global demand for something that has been part of our culture for generations. Ube, scientifically known as Dioscorea alata or purple yam, has deeply roots in the Philippine food and culture. It has been used in traditional food dishes and dessert, most famously in ube halaya. But in recent years, ube has gone far beyond the Philippines. It has become increasingly popular in international markets, particularly in North America, Europe, and parts of Asia. And social media actually played a huge role in making the purple color instantly recognizable. Suddenly, the ube wasn't just a Filipino dessert ingredient. It became a global flavor, and that sounds like a good news for us. More demand should mean more opportunities for Filipino farmers. According to the data cited in recent reports, Philippine ube production has been declining, and the country produced more than 15,000 metric tons of ube in 2021. By 2025, production had fallen to around 12,483 metric tons, and that's happening at a time when international demand is moving in the opposite direction. So we're facing a strange situation. Demand is going up, but production is going down. And this creates pressure and throughout the industry, from farmers to processors to businesses trying to source authentic Philippine-grown ube. This is basically the ube paradox. More people want ube, but fewer ube are being produced. So why can farmers from Philippines simply plant more? Well, as you know, ube isn't exactly a quick crop, unlike how the palkata tree is growing. Depending on the variety and farming condition, it can take many months before it's ready for harvest. And farmers are dealing with another major problem: planting materials. According to the researchers from the Philippine Root Crop Research and Training Centers, the shortage of planting materials is one of the reasons behind the declining production. Traditional propagation also doesn't produce enough planting materials quickly enough to satisfy the industry's growing needs. And that is a very serious problem because Even if the farmers want to grow more ube, they need quality planting materials first. Then, there is the environment. Ube is very vulnerable to unpredictable weather conditions. Typhoons, changing rainfall patterns, and other climate-related problems can damage crops and make harvests less predictable. For farmers, that is a really huge risk. Imagine spending months preparing your land, planting your crop, buying inputs, and taking care of your farm only for extreme weather to damage your harvest. And because ube takes months to mature, farmers can simply replace a damaged crop overnight. This is uncertainty that can discourage farmers from expanding the production. And this is where the story becomes more complicated. The world is saying, we want more ube. And the farmers is asking, can I afford to produce more? Because producing more doesn't really mean planting more land. Farmers need planting materials. They need equipment. They need technical support. They need access to financing. They need reliable buyers. And they need protection from the risk of climate and crop diseases. Without those things, risking demand alone doesn't automatically translate into better life for farmers. Now, there's another issue that has caused confusion online. You may have been seeing another claims that Philippine is importing fresh ube from other countries because local production isn't enough. But here's an important distinction here. The Department of Agriculture's Bureau of Plant Industry said in June 2026 that the Philippines does not authorize the importation of fresh ube or purple yam from other countries. The agency even warned the public to be cautious about the products being advertised or sold as imported fresh ube. However, processed forms such as ube powder and extract are different matter and may be, of course, imported. So when we talk about ube shortage, we shouldn't automatically say the Philippines is importing fresh ube. That claim is not supported by Department of Agriculture's current clarification. The bigger issue is actually much more interesting. The Philippines is growing global market for ube, but our domestic production system is struggling to keep up. And here's the opportunity. If the Philippines can increase production while protecting farmers, ube could become major high-value agricultural product. The Department of Agriculture has already started this kind of working on this. And in 2026, the Department of Agriculture and other agencies began pushing for stronger coordination across the ube industry. It includes farmers, processors, exporters, traders, researchers, and cooperatives. The government has also been distributing planting materials and supporting research into improve ube varieties. Researchers at University of the Philippines Los Barrios, for example, are developing improved purple yam varieties that could have a high yields and stronger characteristic. So there's an effort to catch up with the demand, but the challenge is enormous. This brings us to perhaps the biggest question. Who actually benefits from the global ube craze? That international market can create opportunities, businesses can earn, exports can grow, Filipino food can become more recognizable around the world. But if production remains weak, Filipino farmers may not capture as much of that value as they should. And that is why this shouldn't be simply to be treated another viral food trend, because behind every tub of ubi ice cream that you are eating right now, every ubi latte that we are drinking, and every purple dessert, the cookies, there is a farmer somewhere who had to grow the crop. Ube has become the global sensation. But the irony is that while the world is discovering the Filipino purple yam, the Philippines is still struggling to produce enough of it. The challenge isn't simply to make ube popular. It is to make sure that the people who actually grow it can survive, earn fairly, and continue producing it. Because if we want the world to keep enjoying Filipino ube, we also have to make sure there are Filipino farmers who can keep growing it. And perhaps that is the real lesson behind the ube boom. A global trend is only success for the Philippines if the farmers behind the trends are successful too. So, what do you think? Should the Philippines invest more in ube production while global trend is rising? Let me know in the comment. This is Nix for now. See you in the next video. Bye!